Salutations everybody, it is Matty here today! And I'm sure you heard of a tiny game called Fallout Shelter. Made a little bit of money on the side, but yeah, that's a game that you may have forgot about. Fun fact of the day, did you know that Fallout Shelter has an online version? Let's start with the origin story, the lore of Fallout Shelter Online. How did we uncover this? It starts off with a tweet from Jeff Keighley. The man who runs the Game Awards actually tweeted out a photo of Fallout Shelter Online asking what the hell was going on. I had quoted it saying, I can't even begin to imagine what I'm looking at right now. I'm very scared to find out. And then a viewer let me know that there is this thing called Fallout Shelter Online. So I decided to do some digging of my own, and let's look at this article by MMOculture.com, which I will have linked in the description down below. After shutting down development of Borderlands Online, China developer and publisher Shanda Games recently announced it has obtained the rights to work on another Western IP. This time, Shanda Games will be developing Fallout Shelter Online, a mobile online game based on the single-player title Fallout Shelter from Bethesda Software. It's Bethesda Game Studios, but anyway. Fallout Shelter Online will launch first for China gamers, with other regions' statuses unknown. According to reports, while maintaining the original features of Fallout Shelter, this online version will include instance dungeons, character collection, PvP modes, and even guild versus guild content. To summarize, the gameplay of Fallout Shelter Online will be much deeper and complete, although the overall design will be somewhat cuter. Shanda Games did not reveal any screenshots nor share a launch schedule, so stay tuned for more updates. So get this, Bethesda made a ton of money on Fallout Shelter, outsourced it to a Chinese developer, Shanda Games, and they are probably going to take this online version whenever it's well and ready, put it in the West, and I think the game's gonna take off yet again, which is just crazy because the game's already made so much money, it's still making so much money, it's gonna make more. And then they got Elder Scrolls Blades on the way, which is gonna be another cash cow. I mean, Bethesda's literally gonna be swimming in Scrooge McDuck levels of money, man. Let's talk about some of the features though in this Fallout Shelter Online. I do wish there were some screenshots or gameplay that would accompany this. Sadly there's not, so we have to use our imagination. PvP in Fallout Shelter sounds, how do I put this delicately? Terrible. Combat in Fallout Shelter just isn't there. You know, you click and drag a cursor onto a foe, and then pretty much if your gun does enough damage, you're gonna wipe them out in mere seconds before they even touch you. Whenever you're low on health, you click the stim pack button, that's it. There is no PvP to test skill. It will quite literally boil down to who has better guns, which obviously boils down to who earns the nicest lunchboxes or who explores the wasteland the most and gets loot that way. Guild versus guild content, so not only is there going to be player versus player, but it sounds like team versus team. That sounds incredibly chaotic. That sounds very hard to pull off. Now, if they do change the combat system to something more along a real time, like as you rapidly click the enemy, that's how you attack and you have to reload, and maybe there's an ability bar, they would have to change the game quite a bit, but they said they want to keep what's core to Fallout Shelter. So I'm sure it's possible to point out. It's really depending on how much they want to invest in the game, how much Bethesda's going to allow them to change. I'm just fascinated at the idea that this mobile game is actually going to have an online version at some point in the future, because it's the last thing I'd expect. Anyway, that'll do it for me. This is your fun fact of the day. Fallout Shelter is going to have an online version at some point in time, and wow, that's going to be interesting to see how that one goes. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one in the comments down below. Other than that, follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook. Those links are in the description down below, along with my Patreon. Do consider supporting that as it fuels all the content we create here. Stay sexy, stay active. I love you all. Peace.